Hello everyone, my name is Sumitra Swai. I welcome you all to the UNC digital classes. In the last class, we have already studied about the theories of capital structure, and in that class, we have studied about the net income approach and net operating income approach. Today, we are going to discuss about traditional approach and approach. So, before going to start about this approach, I want to recall you something, that in all these theories there were some assumptions, and those assumptions were saying that there will be only two capital sources, that is your debt and equity. So we know that all the theories will be the combination of debt equity mix, and the next one is there will be no tax also. So in net income approach we have studied that we have to calculate our value of the firm, that is your V, and we know that V will be your S plus D, equity plus debt. Combination of S plus D will be your value of the firm. And according to this approach, we were saying that the value of the firm can be increased if we will increase the value of the debt. Means if we will raise our fund or our capital maximum to maximum with the debt, then the value of the firm can be increased. In net operating income approach, we were saying that the value of the firm will have no impact, means there will be nothing changed in value of the firm whatever may be the composition of your debt and equity, means the formula will always be same. And here we know that the weighted average cost of capital was your EBIT whole divided by your V. Okay, the formula will continue for 4 theories, but in this approach we are saying that whatever may be the composition, there will nothing going to change in the value of the firm. Now we will study about the traditional approach, and this approach is also called as your intermediate. Why intermediate? Intermediate means something in between. So this approach is a compromise between the two extremes, that your net income and net operating income. One is saying that you can raise your value by adding more to more debt, and one is saying that whatever may be the composition, there will be no impact. But traditional approach is saying that there will be a perfect combination of debt and equity, which will be called as your optimal capital structure. This optimal capital structure can be gained by having the perfect debt and equity mix. Now we will see that how to attain the optimal capital structure. First, we know that the cost of debt is always lower than the cost of equity. So debt will be below here, and this will be your cost of equity. This is your KE and this is your KD. But if we are saying that this KD will always be lower, then the company always try to have more to more debt. Okay, if my capitalization is 50 lakh, then I will always try to have 40 lakh at least from debt. If there will be more debt, then there will be a financial risk, means we are saying that we have to pay the interest. Maybe we may suffer in loss, but the equity shareholders may compromise. They may say that okay, if it is a loss situation, we are not going to have our EPS, earning per share, but these people are not going to compromise. So if they are not going to sacrifice anything, then all the 40 lakh of interest are going to be paid to the debt holders. So there will be a range of your financial risk, and if there will be financial risk, the cost of equity ultimately go up, means this line will after some time it will go up. Okay, and your KD, when it will be realized that the company's equity shareholders are raising the cost of capital, because there is an involvement of your financial risk, ultimately your KD will also after some time go up. Okay, so here we have to find that what is the perfect situation where we can attain our optimal capital structure. So first I will do the diagram, and with that I will explain you. After that I will explain you with a numerical problem. This is your cost of capital and this is the leverage, and we are saying that this is your KD line, and after some time it will go like this. This is our KD, and we also know that it is our KE, and which will after some time it will also go like this, but the K0 will lie between, we know that in net income approach it was between here to here, and net operating income approach was saying that it will lie between this line and this will be stagnant, or this will be constant because there will be no impact. And here the diagram of K0 will be starting from this point and this will go like this. Mark here, when this is the, we can say that there are three stages. Okay, all these things means KD line, K0 line and KE line. This is one stage, this is second stage, and this is third stage. In third stage we are saying that all the K0, KD and KE are going up, and in this line all the three things are the lowest point. KD is also at the lowest, K0 was here, means if this is the point of 10, then it will come to like this, it will be 9, and after that here it will be 10.5 point also. Okay, so this is something very lowest point. So this particular situation will be our optimal capital mix or capital structure. At this situation we will always try to have our average cost of capital. So now we will do a arithmetic problem. With that you can understand that what I was trying to say, that this is the 10 point and this is the 9 point and this will be something more than this 10 point. And at the end we have to find your K0 or the weighted average cost of capital. First it is given that the net operating income, and net operating income means your EBIT. Okay, so EBIT is already given, your 2 lakh rupees, total investment will be 10 lakh, and this 10 lakh means your total capitalization can be drawn by 3 cases. First is there will be no debt, means all the 10 lakh will be your equity shares. Second is saying that the second case can be 4 lakh from debt. All the capital you will raise, that will be a combination of 4 lakh of debt and remaining 6 lakh will be from equity, and this 4 lakh will have a interest of 5% and the capitalization will be 11%. Next, the third is, if we will have the composition of 10 lakh, then 6 lakh from debt and the remaining 4 lakh from equity, and this 6 lakh will have a interest of 6% and the capitalization will be 13%. First we have to find, there are 3 cases A, B and C. First it is your EBIT, and EBIT is your 2 lakh rupees. For all the cases EBIT will be same. Next, first we have to deduct your interest. So interest will be in first case, if this is the case A and there is no debt, then what will be the interest? 0 interest, yes or no, because there is no debt, so this is 0. For the second it is 4 lakh of 5% interest, so it is your 20,000. So for case B we have to deduct the interest of 20,000. In case C it is 6 lakh at the rate of 6%. So for case C interest will be your 36,000 rupees. Okay. After EBIT and we have deducted interest, it should be our EBT, and after that we have to deduct the tax, and after that we have to pay the preference dividend. But as we are reading the theories of capital structure, we know that there will be elimination of your tax and preference dividend also. So after the EBT, means after this amount, what we are going to have is directly to be contributed to the equity shareholders. So we can write that earning available for equity shareholders. So this is your 2 lakh, this is 1,80,000, this is 1,64,000. Okay. Now we know that there will be the involvement of your capitalization rate. Next is your equity capitalization rate. For case 1 it is 10, then 11, then 13. So 10%, 11% and 13%. So see, this is in rupees. If we have 2 lakh rupees for the EPS, then what are the number of equity shares? How we can get that? We will divide 2 lakh divided by 10%, 1 lakh 80 divided by 11% and 1 lakh 64 divided by 13%. So this will be your 20 lakh. You can write 2 lakh divided by 10. This will be your 20 lakh. This will be your 1 lakh 80,000 into 100 divided by 11, and this will be 16 lakh 36,363, and also similarly 1 lakh 64,000 divided by 13% will be your 12 lakh 61,538. So this is your value of your equity shares, means your S. We know that V is your S plus D. So first we calculate the S. This 20 lakh for case A is your S. For case B, this is your 16 lakh 36,000 and this is your 12 lakh. Okay. So what we get here is your value of equity shares, that is your S. Now we have got our S. Now we have to focus what is our D. So D will be value of your debt, that is your D. The question is already given that in case 1 that is 0, it will be 0. In case B this is your 4 lakh. So this is 4 lakh, and for case C this is your 6 lakh. At the end we will come to know that S plus D will be your V, value of the firm. So value of firm will be 20 lakh. This will be 20 lakh 36,363, and this will be 18 lakh 61,538. And first you in all the theories we have to find the V, and after that K0, and K0 can be calculated by your EBIT whole divided by V. So EBIT is your 2 lakh, or here it is also written 2 lakh. So here we have to calculate K0 or weighted average cost of capital, average cost of capital, by dividing your 2 lakh divided by 20 lakh, that will be your 10%. 2 lakh divided by 20 lakh 36,363, this will be your 9.8%, and this will be 10.7% if you will divide 2 lakh divided by your 18 lakh 61,530. Now you can see that the diagram I was saying that the K0 will be like this. Yes or no? This was your KE and this was your KD. So now see the K0, this in case 1 or stage 1, this is your 10%. In the second stage it is falling because this is 9.8%, but after some time, after crossing the stage 3, it will increase, and afterward it will completely go beyond from the initial stage also. So this is 10, and after some time it will become 10.7%. Why this is happening? Because we know that there will be involvement of your financial risk. For this financial risk, KE will also increase, and after KE will increase, K0 or KD will also increase. Then the last concept, that is your Modigliani and Miller approach. According to this theory, there will also be again two theories. Okay, so they are saying that the first, where there will be no tax, as we are saying that all the theories are based upon some assumption, and the assumption is saying that there will be no tax. So the first point is, if there will be no tax, then that will become your theory of irrelevance. And the second one, after 1963, this theory become that, as we know that in company there is also tax in practical or in real world, So this theory involves the concept of tax and become the theory of relevance. Okay, so we will study that what are these theories. So first is your theory of irrelevance. If there will be no tax, and if there will be no tax, Modigliani and Miller, or I can say that MM are saying that whatever may be the composition, there will be no impact on your value of the firm, that is your V. Means if they are saying that, let's say in the first stage your KD is obviously less than KE. So what you will try to do, to add more to more capital raising by your cost of debt or directly from debt. After some time, if debt will increase, then the interest will also increase. So after that, the KU will be affected. The shareholders will think that if we have to pay a lot of interest amount, then what will be our profit? Yes or no? So after some time, the company will come to realize that there will be a financial risk. As we have already studied that in the traditional or net operating and net income approach also. So after financial risk, we will come to know that KE will increase and KD will also increase. And after some time, we will see that there will be balance in market, after which we will again come to this point that KU will be fall and KU will also try to, in some extent it will also come to fall. So by saying all these things, I am trying to say that the theory of irrelevance saying that whatever may be your debt or equity mix, there will be no impact on the value of the firm. So value of the firm will not be changed, that will be very stagnant. And again the value of firm, that is your V, the formula will not change, that is your EBIT by K0. And in theories of relevance means we are saying there will be the involvement of tax. So I have already told you in the capital structure and cost of capital also that if there will be tax, the interest will be calculated like I whole into 1 minus T. There will always be an impact of tax percentage. So only this change will be seen here. So for theory of relevance, the value of firm, this is for case A and this is for case B. Value of firm means V will be your EBIT divided by K0 whole into 1 minus T. Only this percentage or the impact of tax will only be visible, and this is the only change between irrelevance and relevance. We have completed the chapter of your capital structure. If you have any doubt in any section of the videos, you can write it in the comment box, and thank you for watching.